Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexander Howell, and today the video that I wanted to share with you was I realized that a lot of my videos kind of hit on Merida, Mexico, and the more northern shores of the Gulf of Mexico when it comes to Progreso and the beach town that are near there. But the actual state of Yucatan has an incredible history, if I can talk, that spans for thousands of years. And this isn't a video where I'm going to go over everything about Yucatan and talk to you about every street, every road, everything that is Yucatan, Mexico. That would take a series of it. And by the way, if you want to get one of those series, just let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to do that. And speaking of the comments down below, please feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. Hit the little notification bell. That'll let you know anytime that I go live or that one of these videos pops up. You will be the first to know. And feel free to visit me on these social media links. At Alexander from KC is normally where you can find me on social media. And a text to 816-727-7740 is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Now, back to this video. A little bit of history, a little bit of knowledge. I hope you enjoy it. My editor, Sebastian, probably hated me because I was discombobulated from me having COVID brain from getting it a couple of weeks ago. But I'm back in action. I'm just a little bit out of breath. But here we go. A little bit of history of Yucatan, Mexico. Enjoy. So the free and sovereign state of Yucatan, or Yucatan as most of us know it, is one of 32 states that make up the federal entities of Mexico. Merida is its capital, and the Yucatan itself is divided up into 106 municipalities. Now, as of today, the Yucatan is without question and without rival the safest city in Mexico overall. And that's actually a little bit of a misnomer, because not only was it awarded a City of Peace in 2011, but it always comes up normally the second safest city in North America overall. And the only one that edges out most of the time is Quebec City in Canada. So Quebec City in Canada, number one, Merida, Mexico, number two, everyone else going for third, hopefully. So many people wonder why it is that we call it Yucatan, Mexico, why the state is named that. Well, there's actually a really funny story behind it. Not if you follow it further on, but there's a very interesting story behind it, with miscommunication being the reason that we know it as Yucatan today. Francisco Hernandez de Cordova was somebody who landed on the shores of Mexico from Spain, and when he talked to the native population, he obviously couldn't understand what they were saying. There was a language barrier. And legend has it that he was asking what the name of the place was that he had just landed, and take it for what it is, but he heard a dialect, he heard a conversation that they were having, and something that was expressed to him, I believe it was Tetecan, and he heard it as Yucatan. And that interesting piece of speech and miscommunication is the reason that we know it as Yucatan today. So take it for what it is. Someone landed from Spain. They heard Yucatan, which was not even the word that the natives said. And that is why we know it as Yucatan today. Oppressive policies of inequality and prejudice were imposed on the native Mayans by the Spanish colonial government. In November 1761, Jancito Canec, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, a Mayan from the town of Sestil, now located in Huaxcaba municipality, led an armed uprising against the government, which was quickly put down. Captured insurgents were taken to Merida, where they were tried and tortured. As a warning to the population against rebellion, Sestil was burned and covered with salt. This board of rebellion was not of great consequence to the colonial regime, but it marked the history of the peninsula and clearly delineated anti-colonial tensions in the region. The uprising was a precursor to the social upheaval that would explode less than a century later, as the Castile War. The Canec Rebellion is remembered today as a symbol of the racial and social conflict that predominated for centuries in the Spanish colonies. On September 15, 1821, in the halls of councils in the city of Merida, Yucatan declares its independence from Spain. Almost immediately, Governor Juan Maria Echeverri sent two representatives to negotiate the incorporation of Yucatan to the Mexican Empire. The incorporation to the Mexican Empire was on November 2nd, 1821. Several states and changes came subsequent to this. So many of you are probably wondering, when you see pictures of Merida, especially on a street called the Paseo de Mateo, which I've covered in several videos, you'll notice these giant houses. Now, some of them have converted into commercial buildings. They have house restaurants and coffee shops and banks, things like that. But for the most part, you'll notice that they look a lot like houses. And the fact of the matter is that they were. In fact, there was a substance called henequen. It was made in Merida, Mexico, where it made it so that that city of Merida had more millionaires per capita than anywhere else in the world. Here's a little bit of background on it. Later in the 19th century, the henequen industry grew to unprecedented power in the Yucatan. The henequen that was growing in the Yucatan was used around the world for rope and twine and all kinds of other things. It became known as sisal rope, named after the seaside town of Sisal. Again, hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, from where the rope was shipped. Today, Sisal is a fishing village, but it is rediscovered by locals and visitors as a beach town location for their vacations. The henequen industry provided financial autonomy to the isolated Yucatan. The fiber of the henequen plant was manufactured into twine and rope, used in riggings, strings, sacks, rugs, and all kinds of other options and items. It became the chief export item of the Yucatan, making many local families incredibly wealthy. And you can see that wealth today evident in the architecture of those homes that we discussed and all throughout Merida, as well as in the more than 150 haciendas that are spread throughout the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, depending on the number, you're going to see a lot of difference in this next item, which is cenotes. Now, we've again discussed cenotes at length in some of the other videos, but basically these are small rock lakes or small lakes that are within caves, depending on how they were formed. But the moment that they were formed, and you can kind of see it if you look at the satellite images of it, and that is they were formed when the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs or killed off the dinosaurs landed just off the beach of Chicxulub, which is a beach town city north of Merida. These cenotes go all along the ring pattern on the Yucatan Peninsula, and I've swam in them. They're very popular tourist attractions, but sometimes the number is pegged at somewhere just over 2,000, 2,500, and sometimes it's over 6,000 because people tend to see cenotes in a different way. Some are very small little pockets of water that are surrounded by rock underground. I think those are cenotes as well, and if you count those, then it's well over 6,000. But some of the larger ones, which are a little bit more, I won't say difficult to come by because they're, again, everywhere, but that's where the lower numbers come in. So you can look at it as 2,000, you can look at it as over 6, but the fact of the matter is they are absolutely beautiful, and not that you can't find cave lakes around the world, but Mexico, due to the Chicxulub crater, is one of the most prolific bearers of these wonderful and interesting architectural wonders. Now, I'm going to look here and I'm going to read off my computer because this is something that I'm going to have difficulty pronouncing. But the Ria Celestun Biosphere Reserve near the fishing village of Celestun contains thousands of beautiful pink flamingos. 30,000 or more will end up there every single year during the winter months. So that is absolutely something that if you're in the Yucatan, I would completely recommend stopping by the Ria Celestun Biosphere Reserve. Why not? 30,000 flamingos. What are you going to do with your Sunday? Now, if you're looking for the state in Mexico that has the largest number of indigenous Mayan speakers and Mayan people, you needn't look no further than Yucatan. The Mayan population is absolutely incredible, and you can tell that because so much of the Spanish language has Mayan flair to it. Anybody that goes down there that speaks traditional Spanish, obviously there's a difference between Spanish in Spain and Spanish in Mexico, as well as every other country. But in the Yucatan especially, it is very interesting because not only is there the differentiation, the dialect is different in the Yucatan, but it has a heavy Mayan influence. And in no small part does that have to do with the fact that it is the home of the largest indigenous population in North America, which is something that is absolutely incredible, and I think is something that should be a point of pride, and is a point of pride to the Yucatan. You see it on the coast, you see it in Merida, but especially when you go to the areas surrounding that, the capital of Yucatan and Merida, when you see the areas around, you see the population constantly and consistently, and I think that that's something that's, I don't know why, but it's a very neat feature of the country, and it's something that brings you back to the roots of where we all started. All right, everyone, well, thank you so much for watching the video. That was just a really short history of the Yucatan. I thought that those were some of the points that really made it a nice little delve into the start. If you guys like this content, please let me know by giving me a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little notification bell. That way you get notified anytime that I go live streaming on YouTube, or if one of these videos go live, you will be one of the first to know about it. Please follow me at any one of these social medias, as you'll see down below. At Alexander from KC is where you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. I am most active on Instagram, just to let you know. And in that feed, you'll also be able to see some of the video or some of the pictures from the home that we are currently hopefully about to start digging in Merida itself. Also, feel free to text me at 816-727-7740 or send me a direct message on my website at alexanderhowell.com. Just hit the contact us. It sends me a direct email. You're good to go. Everyone, thank you so much. I know this was a very brief history, a couple of fun facts, something of that nature, but I wanted to give you an idea, just a taste of why visiting Yucatan is absolutely amazing. I hope it turned out well. Again, my name is Alexander Howell. Have a wonderful day, and as always, peace.